Hey guys, what's up? My name is Vince from Adult Therapy Alliance, and today we're going to be talking about change. So when I started out as a therapist, I really struggled with this because I thought I was gonna come in guns a blazing, I'm gonna save the day. And I soon got soul crushed, destroyed, discovering that I have no ability to change anyone. And it happened over time too. You know, some days I would have a good day and my clients would feel better, and then I would feel better. And then some days they would feel horrible, and then I would feel horrible. And I started to slowly realize that I'm gonna lose my mind doing this. You know, I'm gonna be depressed. I don't know how people do this. And it was because I was under the assumption that I'm going to say the right thing. I'm going to do all the therapy stuff in the book and they're just going to be better. Like I am the Jesus Christ of change, you know? And you slowly realize that that is not the case. And especially in addictions, it's very evident that you're I'm using the wrong word. It's impossible to change someone. I would go in and I would feel this way and I'd just be depressed at the end of the day. I'm like, I didn't help anyone. Like I made them feel worse. And then I talked to a supervisor and he gave me the best piece of advice I've ever heard from anyone. Is just that as a therapist, but I think this implies for like anyone who is trying to like help another person and they're trying their best, you know, they're putting all of their effort in. Is that, you know, I came up to him, I'm like, man, like I don't know if I could be a therapist because like I come and I try to help people and they're just not getting better. And then he asked me like, what is your job as a therapist? Like, are you Superman? Are you trying to save the day? And I'm like, no, I'm not Superman. I'm not trying to save the day. So then what are you trying to do? And then like it dawned on me, like, what am I trying to do as a therapist? Like, what am I truly trying to do here with this person? And that's like a complicated thing in therapy, right? Like it really, what are you trying to do? You know, if you're not trying to change the person, what are you trying to do? And and what he told me is like, you're just trying to support the person. You're just trying to help listen to this person, understand this person. That's all you can do, really. Outside of that, you really cannot do anything. Like you could teach the skills, but it's up to them to use the skills. Like you teach them like some sort of lesson or you listen to their story. But like at the end of the day, like you're not saving anybody. Like it's up to the individual to decide to change. Like think about how hard it is to change yourself, you know? And I'm like, yeah, you got a good point. And like that really struck me. And like since working in the addictions field, it's very evident to me that I cannot change a single person. Let me tell you how impossible, for some people who don't understand how impossible it is to change someone. Let me give you a metaphor. Like if there's a person wearing a shirt that did like another person didn't like this shirt, this is a Hawaiian shirt that I'm wearing, like a real actual Hawaiian shirt. My friend got it from Hawaii, an authentic Hawaiian shirt. Imagine that you didn't like this shirt. Imagine like, Vince, that's an ugly shirt. That's a disgusting shirt. Change it. And I'm like, no. You would have, even if you physically ripped it off of my body, you would have to physically rip it off of my body and then put another shirt on me. Think about how challenging that would be. Like maybe you'd overpower me and you would take off the shirt and put on a new shirt, but I would just take off the shirt. That's how impossible it is to change somebody. People think they can take off other people's shirts and put a new shirt on them as if they're going to keep the shirt on. Let me put it this way. If there's one thing you walk away from in this video, this is one thing. Just keep this in your mind. Like if you're a person that struggles with this concept, just keep this one thing in mind. And just keep it in your mind for any relationships or whenever you feel like you are going to do something to change someone, is that people are going to do what they want. It doesn't matter about the facts. It doesn't matter about the reality. It really doesn't matter. Like people don't care. If people don't want to change, they're just simply not going to change. And that is just the fact of life. That's just the natural state of being a person on earth. And it's unfortunate. It sucks. I wish I could do something about it. But if you understand this one thing, you will save so much time. You will be less, what's the therapy word I'm looking for? Emotionally dysregulated. Let me give you another example. You have a better shot at moonwalking on the surface of our sun than you do at changing another person. That's how impossible it is. Like, and if you continue to believe that you can change someone you are living in a delusion. Like, I have to say, there's something wrong with you. There's something happening in your mind that is preventing you from thinking in the honest truth of things. And it becomes very evident in addiction that this is a fact of life. I have met people that have been alcoholics for 10 years who have been doing heroin for a majority of their life. And like I say exactly like the thing that they teach in school, like these are the consequences of your actions. Like if you continue down this way, you will be dead. You will overdose. And in 2 weeks they think like, oh, I'm good. I'm gonna leave. Like, are you crazy? Like you've been fucking around in rehab the entire time. You're literally gonna die. Honestly, you have emotionally relapsed inside of the rehab. And you know what happens? I just see them again in like a 1 week, and I see them in 2 days. And that's an important thing to remember. Like it's so hard to change. It's so hard to change yourself. I can't fathom changing another person, and people to have the delusion that they can save someone else is crazy to me. And I understand, like when you're a young person, honestly, I'm not gonna even say that. If you're just a person, you could be young or old. I've met people of every age, of all kinds of ethnicities and backgrounds, of socioeconomic backgrounds, that have this belief in their mind that they can change another person. And it's a noble thing. I get it. Like, people want to save each other. Like, they want them to get better. You want them not to die. Like, that's an important thing. I get it. I don't want people to die. But I'd be putting my eggs in the wrong basket, in the absolutely wrong basket, if I was focusing on I must change them, and if I don't do it, it determines who I am as a person. It's going to make me feel bad if I can't do it. I couldn't do my job as an addictions therapist if I held the belief that I can fundamentally change people. And that it's a very important thing to know. Like, if you can master this belief in your mind that I have no ability to change people, and you have to, and this is a thing you have to accept again and again. There's this type of therapy called ACT, acceptance and commitment therapy. As a therapist, especially working in addictions, I have to continuously remember this, because a lot of my patients, I like my patients. I don't want them to die. Like, some of these people are great people, but they're a danger to themselves. The only thing I can do is make crystal clear with my words, be very blunt about what the consequences of their actions can lead to, but give them the fundamental autonomy to go and do what they want to do, because they have to do what they have to do. They have to do the things that they believe in. They have to work on their impulses like anyone else. I have to work on my impulses, but I would be failing them as a therapist if I didn't allow them to make their own choices, because at the end of the day, you have to live with yourself, right? The change you have to make has to come from something deeper within yourself, right? That's why I hate people who are saying like, oh, I'm an empath, or I can change them. I can save a hoe. The amount of people I have met that think they can get into relationships with someone who's like damaged or toxic or whatever. Like, I'm gonna be the person to fundamentally move them from point A to point B. Like, they don't even have to put work in, That's a crazy thought to me. It's just not going to happen. Not one time in my entire life. Even the best therapists that I've ever met they do not have that ability. They don't. No one does. That's how impossible it is. And once you understand that, what you have to remind yourself too. Like, I forget sometimes too, because like I'm so involved with trying to help my patient. I have to be like, yo, I can't just impose my values and my beliefs and force this person to believe what I believe, or force them to do something that I want them to do. How long is that truly gonna last? And that's a major issue in society. Like, the one of the things that really bothers me in society is like the way people use words. Like, people have this notion that they can control what other people can think, what other people can say, what they can read. Absurd. If I want to go and read something, I'm going to go and read it. If I want to join a fringe group because I think they're right and they're going to take me to salvation, like I get red pilled or black pilled, like, what can you do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can listen to that person, you can talk to that person, you can help them give give perspective so they can make their own conclusions, but people are going to do what they want at the end of the day. And for me, it's a very freeing thing. Like, I don't put my ability as a therapist in, oh, like, now that I've cured the person, I should feel good about myself. My job isn't to do that. Like, I don't, like, I get satisfaction from helping people if they get their shit together. I'm like, I'm glad I was part of the process, but I don't bank on like, oh, I'm going to say the exact right thing, because I'm not going to say the exact right thing more often than not. That person is going to have to come to their own conclusions. I'm going to be part of their team, hopefully being there to support them to get to that place. But ultimately, that person has to make that choice for themselves, and people don't get that. People, for some reason, like, it's beyond them to really comprehend that is out of their ability. Like, I have a hard time changing myself. I super struggle to change myself. Changing even the little things about myself are very challenging, like getting up on time, or meal prepping, or trying to work out every day, or just trying to be open with my feelings, or journaling, or whatever therapeutic thing that people like to do to like better themselves. Like, that is so hard, right? We're better. Okay, I'll give you like a thing that it's actually practical that you can do. Like, the actual thing that I think we should focus on as people in humanity that are living on Earth is just to focus on how we react to other people and their decisions. There's so many people that I wish there were certain ways, like our relationship would be better. Like, you're messing up our relationship for no reason, but like, I can't do anything about it. It's like, I have to grieve the fact. I have to go through the grieving process of that. Is just not going to change. Like, something has to, like, you're gonna, like, maybe you have to go and do something to change it, and it'll make me feel better. But in the meantime, if that never happens, it might never happen. They might never change. That's the thing. Like, that's the conclusion. That's like the kind of thing you have to come to in your mind. Like, that person might decide to not make a change in their life, and I have to learn to accept that and commit myself to being consistent still, right? Like, I don't have to change who I am just because someone else doesn't want to change, right? And I think that will ultimately give people a better quality of life. Like, it'll make you less stressed. You'll take less responsibilities for other people's actions. And it's very hard. It's a very hard thing I'm saying. Like, this little video I'm making, it's hard to conceptualize until you do it for real a few times. And I think older people, especially people who have addicts in their families and that are like, go to Al-Anon and things like that. Like, I couldn't imagine like having my child become a heroin addict. And like, I can't imagine, honestly. But like, for real, like, I don't have a kid that has a heroin addiction, but like, these people like have like, talking to families over the years, like, their like second son died of heroin and their third son is on their way as well. I mean, like, having to have those boundaries to be like, I'm just not going to succumb to their nonsense behavior, because I have to have boundaries to keep myself protected, right? To have that fortitude to do so, like, understanding that like, if I continue to succumb to other people's emotions and I don't change the way I react to this, I'm only hurting myself. At the end of the day, I'm hurting myself because I'm deciding to make these poor decisions. And that's what it ends up being. Take accountability for yourself and what you're able to do. To forfeit that, to say that I am powerless in this situation because I can't change someone, that's going to lead to destruction, in the relationship, for that person, for yourself, mainly for yourself. Like, prioritize yourself in a way that you are the one who is taking the time and energy to change how you react to the situation. And that is a much more healing path. Once you can do that, you can actually withstand other people and what they're deciding to do. It ends up being on you at the end of the day. Because like, if they're not changing and I can't do anything about it, and I'm trying to force them to change, and that's just not going to happen, and I continue to do so, expecting a different result, that's like literally the definition of insanity, right? But finding that strength and deciding like, I can't change this person. There's nothing I can do. Vince is saying that I have a better shot at moonwalking on the surface of the sun. and deciding like, hey, I'm just not gonna react like I used to. You know, I'm not gonna try to jump through hoops to force someone to do something that I want them to do, or like stop them from doing something that is against my values. You know, you're gonna save yourself time, you're gonna save that other person time, and you're going to live a better life. And once that person decides to change, you'll just be right there for them. You know, you're gonna support them, you're going to help them, you'll be where they are, because that's what you were waiting for them to do that. You know, but until they get there, you're just gonna have to decide about how you're gonna react, how you're going to change yourself. That's a place where you find the strength. So that's my little video rant. I guess I was like rambling a little bit too much. Hopefully that makes sense. If you guys have any questions or comments or whatever the fuck, leave them down in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video. And please do not moonwalk on the surface of the sun.